so excited and thankful to be here. We arrived around 6 a.m. this morning, rented a car, started exploring. We are feeling sleepy. We just took a little power nap because we are in Reykjavik. We checked into our hotel. Thankfully, we were able to check in early, have ourselves a little power nap, and this morning, one of our first stops was this absolutely beautiful bakery, Bread & Co., and we had the most delicious cinnamon roll. It was divine, and also a bretzel croissant, this gorgeous salty croissant with sesame seeds. It was beautiful. And then we went to this cozy cafe. It was just a very cozy situation, and I'm thankful again we were able to squeeze in a power nap because today is basically a Reykjavik food day. We are actually going on the food walk right in the city center, so we're going to go to 5 different restaurants, try some local cuisine, local flair, and I'll take you through all of that adventure. And tonight we are actually going to the Aurora Basecamp, which is a base camp I think 30 minutes out from the city center, where they sort of teach you about the northern lights and tricks on how to hopefully spot them and see them. So we have quite the agenda lined up for our first day in Iceland, and I'm so excited to take you along this week. For our one night in Reykjavik, we stayed at the Consulate Hotel, which was centrally located and perfectly comfortable. Reykjavik as a city is relatively walkable, so highly recommend staying in the city center, and then you're able to just walk about because they do not have any of the rideshare services in Iceland. They do offer taxis, but it is more convenient to be able to walk when you're in the city. One of the more notable parts of our food walk was when Brandon tasted fermented shark, which is a national dish of Iceland and of course rather unique for us. You could smell it instantly as soon as the jar was opened. It has a ammonia-rich smell, so definitely an acquired taste. Fermented shark. Fermented. Thank you, sir.
Oh, sorry, part of my reach.
No, you're fine.
Cheers.
You like it?
No.
We popped in a few gift shops, and this one that we went to, there was this precious cat named Ophelia, and she was so incredibly cozy and comfy that when I went to go pet her, she didn't even stir a little bit. She is just so comfortable and at peace with her cozy life. That was really sweet to see. We are back home from the Reykjavik food walk. It was a really fun experience. I'm glad we did it. The food was definitely out of our normal food comfort zone, but that's good. That's the whole...
There were some really good things.
There were some really good things, yes. I think we can both agree the highlight was the rye bread ice cream.
Rye bread.
Yeah. Hi.
Very good.
Rye bread ice cream. Oh, and the rye bread he really loved.
Oh yeah,
which is
that's what I was
exciting
talking
because
about.
later in our itinerary, later this week, we have another rye bread experience.
Yeah,
so.
I don't really have a reference point for rye bread, but this was
Yeah,
super
we don't
good.
have...
It was moist, and it was like, yeah, someone described it almost as like molassesy. There's just like a perfect little sweetness to it, and the butter was really good. And then we got some fish. I forget what kind of fish that was cooked.
Cod.
Like cast iron skillet, beautifully with like
it
potatoes
was super
and
yummy.
veggies. And then the bread ice cream.
And
was
our
super
tour
unique.
guide was amazing.
She was excellent.
Born and raised in Iceland, so knows a lot of fun facts, interesting history. So great experience, and we did some shopping. We got 2 containers of this lava salt. It's sustainable salt from the West Fjords of Iceland. Super, super cool. So we got 2 of these for gifts and souvenirs. And now the plan is, Brandon's feeling sleepy. I definitely slept a lot more on the plane than he did. So we're gonna take a little relaxation break, and the hotel we're staying at, it actually has, we haven't checked it out yet, but it has a little spa area. So there's a steam, I think it's a sauna and a jacuzzi and just a very relaxing space. So we're gonna go check that out, kind of wind down, hopefully take a nap, and then we'll venture back out for the night. For dinner, we went to Mama's, which is a vegan restaurant right in the heart of Reykjavik, and we got the curry, a salad, and kombucha. All were really delicious, and we also got a couple of the date balls to go for dessert. Aurora Basecamp is a great way to learn about the lights since they have an indoor simulation of the northern lights, and they also have cozy fire pits, tea, hot cocoa, so you can stay nice and comfortable as you wait and hope for the auroras to show up. We just left Aurora Basecamp. It's about, let's see, 10:30 or 11. We are so sleepy. We did not see the northern lights, unfortunately, but I'm glad we went, and we're feeling equipped and hopeful to hopefully see them another night during our trip. We'll see. It's Mother Nature, so you really cannot create expectations. You just have to have an open heart and a hopeful heart. But yeah, no luck tonight, but it was a really cool spot. And now we're just fueling up the tank for tomorrow, and so excited to get some rest tonight. We are feeling super sleepy, so definitely want to get some shut-eye so we feel really energized for our big itinerary we have tomorrow. I spoke too soon. The northern lights came to join us. You barely can see it. It's very faint, but still incredibly magical, and I'm just so thankful I got to see it.
Fairly well.
You can see it.
And that was when
yeah, it's kind of faded now. Yes. We started our day at Baka Baka and had a delicious meal before our full day of adventures. We highly suggest taking a couple of their pastries to go because we just truly could not get enough of the pastries, but it also was nice to just have some extra snacks with us since we had quite the road trip on this day. Good morning. It is a glorious day here in Iceland. Today we are venturing out to Snæfellsnes Peninsula. I think I said that correctly. Snæfellsnes Peninsula, and it is just so beautiful. I feel like we're just in awe of everything, and after last night I'm just feeling extra inspired and thankful for such a beautiful day here in Iceland. So Snæfellsnes Peninsula is north of Reykjavik. It's like northwest, and it's this peninsula with lots of different viewpoints. There's pretty mountains, and I don't know, we'll see what else the day brings. We have lots of little pins dropped for what we want to see, but the beauty of having a rental car is we can just pull over and check out whatever perks our interest. But excited to see what we get up to.
Me too. Like the sunshine.
It was about a 3-hour drive to Snæfellsnes Peninsula from the capital, and we drove under this underwater bridge that took us through the ocean, basically. It was really amazing to see all of the different sites along the drive, and just the infrastructure was really cool because, of course, this landscape is so unique and they're working with so many different elements. So even though we did drive around quite some time today, it was a very entertaining road trip because there was just so much to see. Our first stop was this gorgeous oceanside church, which is truly stunning from every single angle. We picked up some road trip snacks. We have 2 chocolate bars, delicious, and then lava cheese with chili. So they're these little cheese crisps. Then we drove over to Arnastapi, which is a small town on the tip of the peninsula, and there really are so many beautiful cliffside ocean views, and there's this stone bridge formation that's shaped by old lava, which is fun to walk across as long as you're not afraid of heights, of course. We had some soup at a nearby cafe and then drove over to Longyearbyen viewpoint, which is nearby and offers some more stunning views, and they have a nice deck that you can walk out on and just enjoy for a bit. After that, we drove over to Kirkjufell, which is named the most iconic mountain of Iceland due to its unique structure. And Kirkjufoss is a nearby waterfall, which is stunning to have in the foreground of your Kirkjufell photos. We learned that foss means waterfall in Icelandic, so any location that has foss at the end of the title, you can expect to see a beautiful water cascading, which you'll notice if you're road tripping through Iceland, there are a lot of fosses around. Near Kirkjufell, we stopped in this cozy cafe to pick up some coffees, and pretty much every cafe we went to had so many books and artisan-made goods, yummy pastries. They all just felt so homey and cozy, which I absolutely love. Towards Reykjavik, stopping whenever we pleased to take in the views. I'm so enamored with how the moss looks growing over the lava rock. It's just so beautiful, and again, Iceland just has such a variety of different elements, so it's so special to be able to see waterfalls, beaches, canyons, lava rock, all in the same trip and even the same day. For dinner, we went to Chickpea in Reykjavik, which was absolutely delicious. We had this yummy falafel and sourdough pita and house-made kombucha, which is basically my dream meal, so we were big fans. And we also stopped by Om Chocolate for some dessert. We've made it to Silica Hotel. This is going to be our home for the next 2 nights, and we are very excited. It's very exciting. We're very excited. And it is just very peaceful here. Oh, here's Brandon's underwear. Don't mind that. It's normal. It's normal. It's a very peaceful resort. We just took an evening dip. The Silica Hotel is really neat because they actually have a private pool area. So we will go to Blue Lagoon tomorrow, which is one of the most coveted areas of Iceland. It's just one of the biggest tourist attractions. And Silica is neat because they have their own private pool, so it's a bit more calm atmosphere, but we're still really excited to go to the true Blue Lagoon tomorrow. But today was amazing. It was such a full day of adventure and exploring. What was your highlight of the day?
The highlight? Just a lot.
I know. There's so much goodness.
Yeah, there really was. Oh, man, breakfast was great.
Yeah, we always think of the food as the highlight.
That one spot we pulled over towards the end really.
Yes.
Caught my attention.
Yes.
It was like you could see all these mountain ranges and like various lakes and different landscapes, like lusher parts and just like lava rock and dry parts. And that was really neat.
The landscape, just driving around was really amazing.
Yeah.
We probably drove, 6 hours today?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Probably something.
Yeah,
probably
a lot of driving.
More than that, actually. More than that.
Yeah, 6-7 hours of driving, but it's very distracting when you're driving because it's just so beautiful. So. And we stopped so much to split it up, but easy for me to say because he drove the whole time. So
no, it was perfect. Paced well, split it up with little snacks, coffee.
Yeah.
Meat.
Loved it. And tomorrow the plan is to just relax, like have a relaxation day, really spend time in the lagoon, spend time reading. They have lots of cozy sitting areas, so it's going to be a rejuvenating day. We've had a nice, relaxed, slow morning at the Silica Hotel. The breakfast buffet is included and it is phenomenal. There was so much fresh fruit, pastries, waffles, eggs. They pretty much had everything. It was a really, really beautiful start to the day. And now we changed to our swimsuits, we have our robes on, and we're ready to go to the lagoons and just explore. Really, the only thing on the agenda today is to relax at the lagoons, and then we have reservations at the Lava restaurant this evening. But they did give us a tip to put conditioner in our hair before going into the lagoon if we are gonna get our hair wet, because it's super salty, so the conditioner helps protect your hair from getting all dried out and crusty. So that's a good tip, but really excited to explore it and just have a relaxing day here. We enjoyed a morning dip at the private lagoon at Silica and rested in the lobby for a bit, doing some reading and munching on snacks. And then we walked over to Blue Lagoon, which of course was more busy, but still absolutely magical. It's just such a unique experience, and it's just been on my bucket list for so many years. So being able to kind of live out that daydream was really special. And the silica rich water is perfectly tempered and is said to have many benefits to your skin. So we were just having ourselves such a rejuvenating day. We also ordered a couple of the fresh juices, which were refreshing. And then we did the 3-step face mask ritual, which is also included when you stay on property. Clearly, we're still perfecting Brandon's face mask application. I'm not sure why he's so aggressive with it. I guess he just wants to get the face mask in every single pore. We swam around Blue Lagoon for hours. It was really fun. It was so windy, so it was cold, but then we were able to be hot. It was an experience. I definitely could have spent all day there, and I may even go in our Silica Lagoon tonight. My hair, I took a shower once we got back to the hotel, but my hair still feels so crusty, salty, so I'm gonna need to take another shower later. But it was really fun, and we swam up an appetite. So we were gonna go to the lava restaurant, which is at Blue Lagoon, but instead we're going to another local place that Brandon found that sounds really good. They get all of their fish from their neighborhood fishermen, and I think it'll be a really good, authentic experience.
To update them when you get back.
We'll keep you updated, of course. After dinner, we relaxed in the lobby of Silica and ordered some cappuccinos and nibbled on this chocolate bar that contained sea salt flakes from the lagoon. We also popped outside to see if we could see any northern lights action, which we could see them very faintly this night. Good morning. It's another absolutely glorious day here in Iceland. We woke up again at the Silica Hotel, had a lovely breakfast, and then I also took a sunrise dip, which was so peaceful. It's a lot less windy today, so it wasn't as stark of a contrast with the windy cold air and the hot lava lagoon. So that was really lovely, and the moon has just been so beautiful. It's a full moon and the sky was just this beautiful pastel color. So a beautiful, beautiful way to start the day. And on today's agenda, we are going to another hot spring. We're going to go to a greenhouse for lunch. We're going to do a rye bread tour where they cook the rye bread in the lava rock. So we have a lot of fun things planned today. And I did want to mention, I did a ton of research when planning this trip on time of year to visit Iceland. They say that really any time of year is an amazing time to visit Iceland, and I absolutely agree. But the reason why we chose March is because you still are visiting in the winter time, so you do have the chance of seeing the beautiful northern lights, but you also get more time in the day. Because if, for instance, we were originally planning to come in February, but the daylight hours are significantly shorter in February and the other winter months. So March is amazing because the sun rises around 8:20 p.m. and we're at the beginning of March. It's currently March 8th. So the sun rises around 8:20 and then it sets around 7:10-ish. And each day that we're here, the daylight hours get longer and longer. And we really wanted to prioritize more daylight hours so we could visit all the different destinations. But if you'd rather have more of a chance to see the northern lights, then a lot of people recommend coming in the winter months or more in maybe December or January, because then you have longer nights, so then you have more chance of seeing the northern lights, but then you're staying up a lot during the night. So you just have to weigh what you're most interested in, but we've absolutely loved Iceland this time of year and excited for another day of exploring. On the beginning of today's road trip, we got a couple cracks in the windshield when a big truck passed us on the gravel road, which apparently is super common in Iceland, so don't be too alarmed if that happens to you as well. It seems to just come with the territory, and with any adventure, you can expect some curveballs. Our first stop on the agenda was this quaint and dreamy hot spring that truly looks like something out of a fairy tale. It was so peaceful and dreamy, and thankfully at the time that we went, it wasn't too crowded, so I was able to swim around by myself for a bit while Brandon observed and stayed nice and cozy in his dry clothing. The water in the pool is rainwater that runs over warm rocks, so that's how it stays nice and warm, and it really was so comfortable. I could have just stayed in here for many hours. Also, once you park at the hot pool, there is a website where you can virtually pay the admission fee to the landowners, so definitely keep an eye out for that. We then made our way to our lunch reservation at Friheimar, which is a lush tomato farm that grows their crops in a greenhouse. Because of course, Iceland's climate makes gardening a bit of a challenge, but I'm so inspired by how Icelanders harvest and utilize their natural resources. This farm uses geothermal water to provide heat to the greenhouses, and they have imported bumblebees buzzing around to pollinate. They really have just thought of such creative and innovative ways to make this a possibility, even though the climate isn't necessarily favorable for gardening. We really loved our dining experience. Everything on the menu has tomatoes in it, which is just so fun, and they even have tomato ice cream and beer. But everything was just so fresh and truly just a delightful atmosphere. If you end up going, definitely try the tomato soup and the bread buffet. After eating some green tomato apple pie for dessert and taking some coffee to go, we made our way to Lagoon Fontana for the geothermal bakery tour, which is about a 30-minute experience and so fascinating. They bake the rye bread by digging into the warm ground and leaving it there to bake for 24 hours, which is just so fascinating that this is even a possibility. And it's so interesting to see small puddles by the lake boiling because the rocks underneath it are so hot. And it's especially surprising since the weather was so chilly. So the contrast of the cold weather and the warm rocks is just so interesting to see. Enjoyed our fresh pieces of the rye bread with Icelandic butter, and this spot also has a hot spring that you can enjoy and swim at, and you even can do a cold plunge in the lake if you'd like. Our next spot was the geyser, which erupts every 5 to 10 minutes and is truly remarkable to see, so definitely recommend stopping here. It doesn't take too long. There's a parking lot near the entrance, and then there's shops and restaurants. Definitely a touristy spot, but clearly absolutely worthy of all the excitement and attention. For dinner, we went to Ingolfskóli Viking restaurant that has such a unique atmosphere with so many details, and they offer food inspired by the Vikings, but with a contemporary touch, and everything on the menu just felt really elevated and inspired. So we really enjoyed our time here, and we especially enjoyed the house-made mead with Icelandic herbs, and the chocolate lava cake was divine. Another full day of adventure is coming to an end. We made it to Vik, which is about 2.5 hours east of where we were today. So we have just been road tripping all around, and I'm really excited to explore this area. We wanted to stay in a few different spots just so that we would be more conveniently located to different destinations. So tomorrow we're exploring some more places east along the south coast of Iceland. So really looking forward to it. We still need to map out our day a bit, but today was so special. We were talking at dinner, trying to kind of choose a highlight of the day, but there really were so many highlights. I would say this is our third full day. Well, our first day we arrived at 6 a.m., but this day was probably the most special to me. I just loved every single minute of it, and it's just been such a treasure. So really grateful, and we're gonna get some rest, get some sleep. I don't think we'll definitely peek before we go to bed to see if we see any Northern Lights activity, but definitely gonna focus on getting some good sleep tonight. We're staying at Black Beach Suites in Vik, and it is so spacious. They also have a hostel on property, so that's great. It's called The Barn, and they had like a bar and snack area, but this room is ginormous. You absolutely could fit more people. We have the nice bed there, but then if you wanted to sleep more people, I think this is a sleeper sofa, and they have a bunch of extra blankets, duvet, all that good stuff. Even the bathroom is just ginormous. Excited to take a shower, get all clean and revitalized for tomorrow. But we also have pretty much a full kitchen, so I was thinking we'll see how we feel, but it could be fun to go to the supermarket and then cook something. Well, I guess it's not a full kitchen, but it's a really nice sized kitchen with the electric stove top. There's even a dishwasher. We have our coffee stuff, microwave, so we're pretty set up. And this is our balcony. It's pitch dark outside. You can see the stars maybe, but really looking forward to seeing it in the morning because we have the coast right there. Good morning from Vik. It is our last full day of adventures here in Iceland. On today's agenda, we have waterfalls, glaciers, canyons, a whole lot of sightseeing, especially nature focused, but we just had a delicious breakfast and coffee at Skool Beans. This is the coolest coffee shop, just canyon side in Iceland in a school bus. It is just so lovely. The people working there just had so much joie de vivre, and it was a beautiful way to start the day. And we needed that little pep and perk up because we are dealing with some car drama. The tire, when we first started driving this car, the right tire it kept deflating and we'd have to fill it up multiple times. But then yesterday, the left driver's side front tire started really deflating a lot. So we woke up this morning and it was pretty much flat. So Brandon's actually changing the tire right now. So not very fun, but he is doing his thing, and I'm thankful he's sort of dealing with it. I'm trying to help out as much as possible, but with every trip there are those curveballs, and that's the thing with renting a car. It is so nice to have your own car here because there's so many different destinations and pit stops you want to make along the way, so we love the freedom and flexibility of it. But of course it does come with more responsibilities, and you do have more weight on your shoulders with having to deal with things like that and getting gas and dealing with any issues. And then our windshield cracks yesterday, so there's pros and cons, but even with all of this, we both would agree that renting a car is still the move. But unfortunately, we just had some extra curveballs, but hopefully we'll get on the road soon, and our first stop is gonna be one of the canyons. We pulled over to say hello to these absolutely majestic Icelandic horses. They are such magical creatures, and we saw hundreds of horses through our trip, but we were always captivated each time we spotted them. They are so velvety looking with their long hair and are known to be more on the docile side with a calm demeanor, which you can totally tell by this video. They're just such beautiful creatures. This canyon is absolutely breathtaking. We took it in for quite some time, and there is a nice hiking path along the side so you can walk up and explore from different viewpoints, which was really nice because every different angle had something new to offer. On the way to our next destination, we stopped at this roadside waterfall and I filled up my water bottle. I dreamed of doing this before coming to Iceland because they have so many incredible fresh water sources full of minerals. We found this cozy cafe, so we stopped to enjoy a sandwich and delicious coconut curry soup. They also had pastries and coffee. It was just a great atmosphere and a cozy spot to sort of rest for a bit. And our final destinations of the day were Glacier Lagoon and Diamond Beach, which are right across from each other. And it truly was so incredible to see a glacier of this caliber. This is the biggest glacier lagoon of Iceland. And my favorite part was seeing all of the seals splashing around. They looked so playful and just delighted to be swimming with each other. So that was definitely a highlight. But just seeing the grandeur of the glacier and just how magnificently large it is absolutely wild. We then walked over to Diamond Beach, which is just a short walk across the way, and this beach gets its name because icebergs from the glacier will melt and then flow out to the sea, causing them to wash up on this beach. At the time we visited, there weren't many diamonds, but it was still so beautiful with all of the rocks and seeing the contrast between the ocean, glacier, and black sand. For dinner, we went to Black Crust Pizzeria back in Vik, and it was so good. We were blown away. And they make the crust black by using charcoal, and you don't really taste it or anything, but just the way it was cooked and the flavors were exactly what we hoped for. After our meal, we went back to our hotel and got ready for bed, and we ended up staying up until midnight, and we saw the most spectacular Northern Lights show. It was incredibly serendipitous and special because right when we watched it was the beginning of the day we celebrated 11 years as a couple. So it felt really moving to witness that together and just such a beautiful way to kind of cap off our trip to Iceland. Something to note about the lights is that it truly is all up to Mother Nature in timing. Many sites suggest checking the KP index, which is a scale that measures the geomagnetic activity, how far north the lights are. And on this particular night, we had a relatively low KP index, which would mean we probably wouldn't see them, or they would be on the dimmer side, but clearly we were pleasantly surprised and in awe of the activeness, so definitely keep a hopeful spirit and still check even if the KP index is low. The next morning, we went back to Skool Beans for our morning coffee and bagels, and then we stopped at a couple more waterfalls as we made our way back to the airport. Before our flight, we ate at this delicious Indian restaurant that is about 5 minutes from the airport. What an absolutely extraordinary trip. It has come to an end. We're almost to the airport, but truly this trip has just been so special. As someone who is deeply inspired by nature and earth, there's just so many incredible sights. I mean, we saw the lights, we saw waterfalls, canyons,
so many different
glaciers,
aspects.
Such a variety and diversity of nature. It's just very, very special. So I hope you all enjoyed this travel vlog, and hopefully it's helpful if you are planning a trip to Iceland. But really appreciate you all watching and cannot wait to see you next. Bye!
Bye!